Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 123 of the Rise Up and Share Your Medicine podcast. My name is Lisa Espinosa, and I'm a spiritual career coach. And I help helpers. I help wellness professionals, therapists, coaches, teachers. I also help women who are retired or semi-retired but still know that they have a legacy of love to continue fulfilling, right? That they still have so much to offer, but are trying to find what that looks like in this new era of their lives. And outside of that, I also coach people who aren't in the helping profession, but whatever profession they're in, their focus is being visionaries, creating new paradigms, new systems in their industry, right? So even though they might not be doing a traditionally helping role, they have the heart of a helper. So whether they have their own baking business or whether they're an accountant or a specialist in marketing, within their job, their goal is always to serve, to lead at the highest level, to serve humanity. So in these episodes, I share transformative teachings to help you come back into alignment with your soul, because your soul is the part of you that knows your divine mission, knows why you're here, so that you can help with more efficiency, more impact, more flow. Okay, so usually these are live, but in the next coming weeks, they're pre-recorded only because I had to adjust things due to my schedule. So today we're talking about being in the arena of life. So what do I mean by that? I've been using that phrase a lot, especially last month with my masterclass, Be the Pillar of Light in the Storm. And so if you think about your human life, our human life, as a game, not as a game. Well, you can think about it as a game as well, but I'm going to use the analogy of a school. Think of it as school, right? And I'm a spiritual career coach. That means I come at this from a spiritual perspective, grounded and practical, but at the core is the spiritual perspective. So, which means that I'm coming at it from knowing that you are a soul having a human experience. You're not just merely a human. That's the good news, right? You're a divine being. You're a soul. And you signed up for this school called Earth, human life. And so in this human experience, just like in our schools here in the world, there are different levels. There are different classes you take. There are different tests you must pass. There are final exams. There's milestones where you complete certain grades. All of that till the end when you graduate. And I want to be clear, when I say graduate, I'm not talking about physical death. Graduating in this sense means when you awaken. So, and I don't want to go down too much of that, but meaning when we're here as a soul having a human experience, your journey in this human life is to awaken from the duality of being in this world where there is death, where there is competition, where there are winners and losers, where we think everything we're looking for is outside of ourselves, right? If you're here, you're not only a helper, but if you're drawn to my teachings, you're a helper that's very rooted in this spiritual connection and knowing that you are on a spiritual journey, not a religious one. I mean, it's okay if you're connected to a religion, that's fine, but this is beyond religion. It's a spiritual journey. And so in this spiritual journey, yes, I talk a lot about, there's a divine curriculum. So I want you to think about if you went to college or high school, or I know some of you watch from different countries and the school's divided in different ways, but you probably received what we call here a syllabus, right? It's like a paper. So let me, like this here, that tells you, okay, this semester, these are the classes you're going to take. These are the tests you're going to take. And often the professors don't put the surprise quizzes or surprise tests on there, right? Because there wouldn't be surprises. But when you get your divine curriculum or your curriculum at a school, it's designed specifically for your major, right? So if you're going to be a doctor, there's specific classes you have to take. If you're going to be In business administration, there will be certain classes that you're going to take, right? If you're going to be a fashion designer, there'll be classes you're going to take. If you're going to be a helper, so I want you to imagine yourself in the realm of the soul plane, which is often what it's called, before you stepped into your human life. And there were all these different majors you could have chosen, but you chose the role of helper. And maybe you didn't call it helper. I'm just going to use that. But, there's different names. There might be the professional label you have, therapist, coach. There's other more spiritual terms, a way shower, a pillar of light, a beacon of light, a wisdom keeper, a shaman, a medicine woman, a priestess, on and on and on. The point is that you raised your hand just like I did, and you were like, I want to go do that. Like, I want to go to Earth School. And the way I want to wake up, because the whole reason to come to Earth School is to awaken, is to experience coming into this life with an ego structure. So with that part of you that believes you're separate from source. So incarnating, coming into this life with that, but also realizing, but I'm actually a soul. And so being in this world on a journey of remembering that and helping others remember that as well. And when you come here as a helper, you have a very specific curriculum. So you got your syllabus and you looked at it and it was like, oh, okay, these are the things, because every helper has a unique soul's medicine. So if you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about this before, but I'll repeat it again. So what I call your soul's medicine is your unique gifts, your unique talents, combined with all of the challenges, transformative experiences you've experienced in your life, combined with the unique resonance of God, the divine spirit that is in you, so that your medicine is unique. It's not just a cliche thing to say, like literally nobody else has it. It's not about a job title. It's not about how many diplomas you have. It's you were designed to bring this medicine. So when you look at your curriculum, it's like, oh, Lisa's going to Earth School with this unique soul's medicine. So these are the classes she needs to take. These are all the experiences she's going to have to experience, the losses. These are the tests she'll have to go through, all of that. And it's all done from a place of love. It's not a punishment. And we choose it. It's not like the divine or God saying, okay, you're punished. You're going to have a life full of suffering. It's like we choose. I really, truly believe that we choose this. We say, yep, that's going to be me. And so then you come into this life and you forget. And we have all the challenging experiences, but I'm talking to you now. So at this point, you've already overcome so many. You've already had so many transformative experiences. You have a sense of what your soul's medicine is. And yet, this isn't over until graduation. So that means that there's always a more refined, more authentic, more pure expression of your soul's medicine to be shared. And that involves mastery. And that mastery involves being in the arena of life, engaging with life. It's not being on the stands watching. It's not being a bystander. It's being engaged in life. And this has nothing to do with how busy you are. It's being engaged in your specific curriculum, in whatever lessons you are currently undergoing. It's recognizing, okay, this is part of my curriculum. I hate it. Right now, it sounds like a really bad idea. What was I thinking when I agreed to this, right? I have many of those moments. But then coming back to knowing it's not an accident, I'm not a victim. Even if part of your curriculum was experiencing victimization, that's very real. So please know I'm not dismissing that. I had many experiences of that. So I'm not suggesting that those were not hurtful or painful, or that whoever victimized you was okay in doing that. Absolutely not. But it's just to recognize a higher perspective, which is that even that is part of the curriculum. And so often we get confused, and because the curriculum can feel so challenging sometimes, we withdraw from life, whether consciously or unconsciously. And I don't mean like you become a hermit and never leave your house. Maybe that's part of it. For some of you, it might be to that level. But it's not just that. You might go out every day and have lots of friends. It has nothing to do with that. It's more, how present are you as you go through your day to remembering that you are a soul having a human experience, and that part of what you agreed to that is to experience the full range of life. And that can happen whether you're indoors in your home. I know some of you might be recovering from illnesses, and so that could happen in your home, or it might happen outside of your home. Because in this lifetime, the type of help that is needed to awaken each other, to awaken others, to truly be helpful, is to be the type of helper that's engaged with life, engaged with your own journey, really present to it, not resisting it, not judging it. Yes, there will be, and I want to be clear, this is not about perfectionism. You're human, you're having a human experience, right? So part of being in the arena of life will be acknowledging when things feel bad, and when things might feel unfair and you're feeling that, or when you feel like, oh my gosh, this has flattened me, feels so hard. I've shared many of those stories before, right? Of just experiences in my life where I have felt that. And you have to allow yourself to feel those feelings. But at the end of the day, you come back, you practice this over and over, knowing like, no, wait, this is part of what I signed up for. And if I want to truly be helpful, then I agreed to not sleepwalking through life, to being in the arena, to not, because there's a lot of right now in the world, and I'm not here to judge social media in any way. Obviously, there's awful things that happen in social media, but there's also amazing things, right? The fact that I can be doing this podcast from Mexico and people from all over the world can watch it is amazing. That your medicine can be received by people from across the world is a gift. So this is not about dissing social media or technology, but when what I was going to say was, because of the abundance of content on social media and the fact that we can kind of scroll and mindlessly look at it, there is this energy of voyeurism, of just like watching, just being a spectator. And often, and I'm not suggesting you're doing this, but it's the energy of the collective has some of that. There's like voyeuristic, just consuming and watching. It reminds me, like in Roman times, of like, the gladiator wars, or where they would send the Christian martyrs into the arena and with the lions, and there was just the spectators watching, right? Or all these awful things that happened, and there was just spectators watching. So there's a lot of that energy of being a spectator, of watching. And even if that's not something you do, even if you're very mindful and you're like, no, I do not scroll, I don't get sucked into that. And if you do, by the way, I'm not saying you're a bad person. What I'm naming here is that that's a very powerful, strong energy that's in the world right now. And part of that is because there are energies in the world that want us to fall asleep. And so because of that, the type of leaders and helpers that are required are those leaders and helpers that are engaged, that are actually in the arena. That's what people need. That's what will wake up people. It's like when they hear you speak, they're like, oh, wait, something's different. Not because you're necessarily saying like a genius idea. You might be saying the same thing many teachers are saying, but because you're engaged, because you're letting yourself feel your feelings, because you're reminding yourself every day, I'm a soul having a human experience. I signed up for this. I signed up to be a leader, a way shower, to shine my light. Yes, I know that means that I have all these emotions that are uncomfortable and I'm scared, but I'm going to stay in the arena of life. When you're that engaged, you're that alive, you're that present, you're no longer spectator, voyeuristic. That makes you so magnetic and compelling because people sense that, because they also want to wake up and not be a spectator of life. And so this episode, Be in the Arena of Life, is that. So for you specifically, because I know if you're watching this, you are in the arena of life, right? You are already engaged. But again, it's always about going to the next level. So ask yourself, okay, what aspect of the arena, right? If you think of your life, right? So I can think of my life. I have my life as a spiritual career coach that has many branches, right? My coaching clients, has this podcast, has the Instagram lives I do, has the monthly classes I do. So all of that. I have my personal life with my young adult children. There's that aspect of being in the arena with them, loving them as they are engaged with their own life, now as young adults. I have the arena of my husband's cancer journey and like being engaged with that. And I could go on and on and on, but that's enough for now. And so for me, so that's an example, and I want you to do that for you now. What does your arena look like? And remember, it's not an accident. And if you find yourself judging it, if you're like, well, my arena hardly has anything because, I'm just at home all the time. Or the opposite, if you're like, oh my gosh, my arena has a ton of things, it's too much, no, it's like, trust that whatever it is perfect. It was designed. Remember, I said it was in the curriculum for you. But then the question is, how do I become more engaged in that arena? Where am I a little bit sleepwalking, or where am I resisting? Where am I waiting for someone to save me? That's a big one. I used to have that so much in my business. And I wasn't conscious of it. But when I used to be a middle school teacher back in Chicago where I lived. And that was an amazing job. It was a very challenging job. I learned so much from it, but it was also a job where you just, you show up and you get a regular paycheck. And when I left that 15 years ago to start my own business, that was a whole other arena I stepped into. And for a long time, I wanted something to save me. Like, what was going to be the magic thing that was going to bring about success? Because that's what I observed around me. That's what was shown to me. So I kept thinking like, oh, I just have to get on a podcast and it'll be the perfect podcast I'll get on and all these people will hear me and then I'll get all these clients. Or I need someone really famous to interview me and that's going to get me a ton of clients. Or I need to learn Facebook ads, and if I have the perfect Facebook ads, and that's going to get me the clients. And I could go on and on and on. Or I need to get the perfect training. If I learn this modality, then all the clients will come. And except for the Facebook ad thing, I never took a class on that. I did a lot of those things. And I'm not saying they were mistakes. I went on podcasts. I started my own podcast. Like this is my second podcast. I did one before. I wrote a book. I took lots and lots of training, and they were all very, very helpful, but they weren't the thing that saved me. It wasn't the thing that like suddenly it was like, oh, you have this training. Okay, clients are here. I recognized, and that's really where my own teaching of embracing your soul's medicine came from, is recognizing like, oh, it's not about any of those external things. What people are looking for and the type of helper I signed up to be is magnetizing people that are wanting a different type of coach, a different type of leader, that are wanting someone who's very engaged with life. Even if they don't say that, I'm not saying people come to me and say, I want someone who's engaged with life. They might not be saying that, but that's what's drawing people. And so I think I went off a little bit on a tangent, but you're asking yourself, right? It's like, okay, where in the arena am I waiting? Am I waiting for someone to save me? Or where in the arena am I just on hold? Like, just notice, picture that arena in your mind and notice, where is your soul saying, engage, go deep, connect more deeply, see how it's a gift. See how this thing that looks like an obstacle is actually an opportunity. See how this is telling you, this is giving you crucial, essential information about your divine mission here. Like, notice where that is. Notice where are you being called to be more engaged? And so I think I'll pause here and just invite you to do that reflection. Just check in with those questions that I shared. And also, I want to let you know this month's masterclass. So I'm starting a mini series within the series. So this year, all the monthly masterclasses I offer fall under the umbrella of creating your breakthrough year. Your year to break through any limitations, any obstacles that have been in your way, so that you can help with more impact, help with more efficiency, while cultivating a life you love, no matter what challenges come your way. Because if you're a helper, challenges are going to come. And that's not a punishment. It's not because you're a martyr. It's because, your capacity is higher than the normal average person because you signed up for that. And so anyway, that's the masterclass series. But starting in April, May, June, for the next few months, 4 months, I'm going to be doing a mini series within it called Safe to Serve. Because I realized that a lot of my current clients, but also the potential clients I've been meeting with, have all want to serve. They all want to serve. Maybe you don't use the word serve. They all want to help. They all want to lead. They all want to share their gifts. But there is a fear. There is this deep fear, this thing that makes them feel unsafe. And so these next 4 masterclasses are specifically about feeling safe to serve so that you can share your gifts. And this month is about emotional power and resiliency. I am so excited. I know I say that each time, but I am. And I'm going to be sharing, like, what does it mean to be emotionally powerful? Why you're meant to let yourself feel the full spectrum of emotions, not just the challenging ones. You might have seen my Instagram live this week where I talked about expanding your capacity to feel good, to feel safe, to feel success. I'm going to talk about the illusion of emotional mastery, what it actually truly means. And I'm going to be talking about emotions from the Divine Mother perspective, from the spiritual perspective, like what is the point of emotions? Why are so many helpers so deeply sensitive? Like, there's a reason, it was not an accident. And how that sensitivity is both the treasure, because it literally tunes you into the pain of the world. And you're like, yes, I'm here to help that. I'm here to remedy that. And it can also be the poison, because you feel so much of the pain, or you feel so deeply that you can be scared to fully show up and be visible. And so that's going to come April 17th. It's a free masterclass. You will receive the replay for 7 days. And this last month was so great. I really, for everybody who signed up leading up to it, I think maybe the 3 days before then, I started sending like little inspiring messages and pulling oracle cards. And then afterwards also kind of did some, for the duration of the replay, did some like follow-up emails to really deepen the teachings. So I will be opening registration for that. When you see this, registration link should be available. If for some reason it's not, message me and I will send you that that link so you can register. And let's just end with a oracle card. This is from the Soulful Woman. And let's ask about you being in the arena of life. The arena of life. And really remember, oracle cards, we're not actually asking the cards. We're asking your soul. And your soul's going to use the cards to give you a message. Okay? And it's beautiful because all the oracle cards, oracle decks have like different energies, different ways that your soul can speak to you. Okay, so what is the message for everyone who ever watches this podcast episode? What does your soul want you to know about being more engaged in the arena of life, about thriving in the arena of life, leading, serving, helping in the arena of life? Okay. Okay, perfect. Asking opens a pathway. When I ask questions of my inner being, I discover that beautiful and helpful answers always come to me. Look at this. This gorgeous, beautiful woman. This is like your soul saying, asking opens a pathway. So I shared in the podcast episode several questions you could ask, but you can come up with your own questions about being in the arena of life. How can I be more engaged in the arena of life? Or asking it in that powerful way, like, how is it that I've become more engaged in the arena of life? How is it that I'm letting myself be so much more visible in the arena of life? And even if you don't ask it that way, just ask it as a question, like this beautiful card is saying, and your brain will start to work on the answer. Maybe I'll do a podcast episode all about questions. Questions are the key. Okay, I am going to stop. Thank you so much for being here, and sign up for my newsletter because that's the best way to find out all the ways that I'm sharing, because I'm here on the podcast, I'm on Instagram Live, I'm doing the free masterclasses, and I have the free breakthrough consult. I forgot to invite you to that. I will open a few more slots for April. I think I have a few still left, and this is an opportunity for you to meet with me privately over Zoom, where I will help you identify what your biggest obstacle is to helping with more impact, to sharing your gifts with more, with more power. And I'll help you identify the obstacle and then come up with a simple plan to turn that obstacle into opportunity. And if I feel I can help you more, I will share the details of my coaching program. Okay, if this calls to you, I would love to connect with you. All right, much love. Bye.